Om Shanti. Can you hear me?
Yes, Devi, we can hear you.
Okay. So, Om Shanti. Once again, today we are reading the Avyakta Murli of 17th March 1982. And the title of the Murli is The Special Blessing of the Confluence Age. May you be immortal. The special blessing of the Confluence Age. May you be immortal. Today, Bapdada is seeing the souls of the every cycle who have all rights. He is pleased to see those who have claimed all rights to an elevated fortune. Today, Bap and Dada, on seeing the souls with all rights, were having a heart-to-heart conversation and smiling. Father Brahma said, "Your vision has fallen on such souls for whom it is impossible for people of the world to think that such souls can become elevated. Bap Dada has made souls who appear to be very ordinary in the eyes of the world the light of his eyes. He has made souls in whom there was absolutely no hope, the most elevated souls in front of the world. Therefore, Bap Dada was seeing the Mahavir souls, the souls with all weapons in his army, and was noticing which souls sorry, and was noticing which souls were on the battlefield in the Pandav army of the Almighty Authority. So, what did he see? In such a wonderful army, in terms of worldly education, you may seem illiterate, whereas in the Pandav army, you receive the title knowledgeful. All of you are knowledgeful, are you not? It may be difficult to move with your body or to get up, but in terms of being a member of the Pandav army, you can reach the supreme abode in a second and come back here again. Those people simply hoist their flags on the Himalayas. But the Shiv Shakti Pandav army, Baba says, the Shiv Shakti Pandav army has hoisted its flag in all three worlds. You are so innocent and yet so clever that you've made the unique father belong to you. So you're so innocent that you've made the father belong to you. So Bab Dada was smiling as he looked at his army, whether in this land or in foreign lands. It is only ordinary souls who become true Brahmins. Those who are at present considered to be VIPs are in everyone's vision. But who is in Bap Dada's? Who is in the father's vision? Those famous people are remembered and accepted by the iron-aged souls because of their selfish motives. Their praise is short-lived. Iron-aged. Bible says that their praise is short-lived, iron-aged. One moment they are praised and the next moment they are not praised. However, the praise of you, Pandav and Shaktis of this confluence age, Pandava army lasts throughout the whole cycle, because any praise spoken through the mouth of the eternal Father becomes imperishable. Therefore, you should have so much intoxication in today's world. If a well known elevated soul who is accepted as a guru says something to someone, then that person would accept it as the truth because he was told it by the guru and would therefore stay in that intoxication. His intoxication is on the basis of faith. In the same way, think about who is praising you, who is saying elevated souls. Therefore, you should all have so much intoxication. Whether you call him the bestower of blessings, the lawmaker, or the bestower of fortune, you elevated souls have received so many titles from the Father. No matter how many big worldly titles someone has, one of those innumerable titles are nothing when compared to even one title of you elevated souls. So, do you have that intoxication? So Baba is asking, do you have that intoxication? What is the special blessing of the confluence age? The blessing of being made immortal by the immortal Father. It is only at the confluence age that you receive the blessing of becoming immortal. So, do you constantly remember this blessing? You have intoxication and happiness of becoming immortal. So, Baba is asking, you have intoxication, happiness, and remembrance. But have you become blessed with the blessing of being immortal? This is the speciality of this age. Do you use the speciality? If you don't claim this blessing now, you can never receive it. Therefore, know the speciality of this time and constantly check whether you've been blessed with the blessing of being immortal. Whether you call it immortal or eternal, you constantly have to underline this one special word over and over again. What can be said if the children of the Father, the Lord of immortality, do not claim their right to the blessing of being immortal? Is there any need to say this? Therefore, having come to Madhuban, the land of blessings, you may remain constantly blessed, Acha, to the jewels of light who are constantly merged in Bapdada's eyes, to the bestower of blessings who have received blessings from the bestower of blessings, to those who are images of elevated fortune, to those who have become sparkling stars to enlighten the world, to the Shiv Shakti Pandav army of the confluence age, Bap Dada's love, remembrance, and namaste. So then it's the meeting, Bap Dada meeting the Dadi, meeting Dadiji. You are a spinner of the discus, and together with that, you've become a traveler. Do you go around on a double tour, physically as well as with the intellect? Those who constantly spin the discus see everyone with the vision of blessings and fill their aprons with blessings through their words, deeds, and vision. So, at the present time, you are lawmakers, the children of the lawmaker, or are you the images of blessings, the children of the Father, the bestower of blessings? Which part do you play more, the lawmaker or the bestower of blessings?
Hello, Shanti.
Om Shanti Devi.
I'm sorry, there was my mobile was just discharged, so I'm on another mobile. So shall we continue?
Yes.
So Baba was asking, which part do you play more, that of a donor or of a bestower of blessings? Is it easy to receive blessings? But the one who is
Giving blessings has to be stable in the stage of receiving all attainments. For the recipient, a blessing is a golden lottery because the souls who are to come in the final period will only be souls who are totally weak. There will be so much less time, but many weak souls. This is why they won't even have the courage to take anything. For instance, when people have a weak heart, no matter how beautiful something you offer, they may be, sorry, no matter how beautiful something you offer them, maybe they won't be able to take it. They do understand that it is a very good thing, but they still won't be able to take it. All the souls of the final period will be weak in every way. Therefore, you will play the part of a bestower of blessings a lot more. Only souls who have become complete themselves will be able to become bestower of blessings for others. So to become complete is the stage of a bestower of blessings. If you lack something yourself, then although you see others, your attention will go to yourself and you will take time to make yourself complete. This is why it is only when you have made yourself full of all attainments that you can become a bestower of blessings. Acha. Then Bab Dada meeting the group. The long line of fortune of 21 words for all true Brahmins. You are so fortunate that you're so fortunate that you're having a picnic with God. Did you ever think that a day would come when you would eat, play, and laugh with God in the corporeal form? You would never have ever dreamt this. But you have such great fortune that you are now experiencing this in the corporeal form. Your line of fortune is so elevated because you're full of all attainments. Someone who reads fortunes would say, this one has children and wealth in his life. However, that life is a short life, and some things will be fulfilled and others not. Whereas your line of fortune is so long, it is the line of fortune full of all attainments for 21 births. You have a guarantee for 21 births, and even after that, you won't experience that much sorrow. For 3/4 of the cycle, you will have happiness. Even in the last birth, you are not in the list of those who experience extreme sorrow. Therefore, you are those who have such elevated fortune. Constantly remain happy, seeing this elevated fortune of yours. So Baba wants us to constantly remain happy because we have such an elevated fortune. The way to receive love from the ocean of love is to become detached. Some children complain that they stay in remembrance, but they don't receive the Father's love. If they do not receive love, there must be definitely something lacking in the way they receive love. The Father is the ocean of love, and it is therefore impossible that those who have yoke with Him should remain deprived of love. However, the way to receive love is to remain detached. The way to receive love is to remain detached. Until you become detached from the body and bodily relations, you cannot receive love. This is why there must not be any attachment to anyone. If there is attachment, it must only be with Bap Dada. If there is any attachment, it must only be with the Father, with whom you have all relationships. Don't just say it, but experience. Mine is the one Father and none other. मेरा तो एक शिव बाबा दूसरा न कोई. Eat, drink, and go to sleep, but do it with love for the Father. That is, become detached. When you have attachment to bodily beings, there were only attainments of sorrow and peacelessness. Since you have now heard, tasted, and seen everything, how can you take that poison again? So, remain constantly detached and loving to the Father. The way to be freed from all the children, the way to be freed from laboring is to finish the consciousness of mind. Bap Dada has come to free all children from laboring. You have labored a great deal for half the cycle. Now all laboring has finished. The easy way to do this, simply to remember one expression, my Baba. There is no labor in saying my Baba. When you say my Baba, then all the mind that causes your sorrow will finish. When you have the consciousness of mind for many, then there is a difficulty. When you have the consciousness of mind for many, then there is a difficulty. When mind is only one, everything then becomes easy. Just keep saying Baba, Baba, and you will go to the golden age. So now finish the long list of mine, such as my grandchild, my grandchildren, my home, my daughter-in-law. Forget the many and remember the one Father, and you will be freed from having to labor and will continue to swing comfortably in the swing of happiness. Stay constantly comfortable in the remembrance of the Father. Acha, Om Shanti. So that was today's Avyakta Murli. So now we are open to discussion. If someone wants to share, you can start sharing now. So is it that nobody wants to share?
Sister, I think we can have just a half a minute pause and then everybody will share.
Okay, okay, fine.
Ji. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. Sister, this is a very wonderful Murli, and one point I would like to share is that today Babdada is looking at the army, the Pandava army of the Almighty Authority. And what a wonderful army this is that, you know, is compared with a Lokik army. That Lokik army, it says that you seem illiterate, but here every soul is knowledgeful. And also, uh, there they, in the army, they'll hoist their flag on the Himalayas, but here in spiritual army, Pandav army, Shiv Shakti Pandav army has hosted its flag in all three worlds: the incorporeal world, the subtle world, and the gross world, the material world. All three, we are hosting the flag, and that means we are on top of the world, all the three worlds, and that's so intoxicating. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti, sister. Bless and be blessed. In life, actually, there are two things which we look: happiness and blessings. They're like, jewels. And when somebody really blesses us, or we get some happiness, we feel blessed. For us, it's like, like a charging set, as if we are charged with something. Our mind gets charged with something. And now, today, here, just see who is giving you: the eternal Father, the bestower of blessings, the lawmaker, and the bestower of fortune. So it's not an ordinary person who's giving you this blessing. You just see the title, and you have to recognize all these. Have you recognized the Father as eternal, as the bestower of blessings, bestower of fortune, and the lawmaker? When you have accepted such a person, he tells you, Amar Bhava. Generally, we just say we just hear the blessing, Yogi Bhava, Pavitra Bhava, Yogi Bhava. But today, when Baba says Amar Bhava, I was just turning, Baba, how can we be immortal? No humans are mortal. We are born to die. Then it's just a blessing which Bab Dada gives for our progress, to get saved from untimely death, to get saved from death. Just a blessing to finish the consciousness of what we call as the old body, because we are incarnated souls. This blessed, as Baba has given us, is just to lose the fear of death, to just rejuvenate ourselves, like an essence which multiplies or happens. And you know that we are imperishable. We are not just perishable, but our journey continues on. That's why every time he says, sit on your immortal throne, sit on the immortal throne, and go and connect yourself to the incorporeal. I think this blessing really should be understood in its real meaning. Who is giving, to whom he is giving, and why he is giving. That's what I would like to churn today on this blessing. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. There is this paragraph where Baba speaks about he making you immortal, and then he speaks about blessings and remembrance. Can you elaborate that and explain further? Because he's asking, have you become immortal with this blessing? So, could you give some clarity on that?
Can you repeat your question?
So if we go to this paragraph, I'll read that paragraph, and that paragraph speaks about Baba's giving you a special blessing in the confluence age, becoming immortal. And then he asked, have you become immortal? So what's that when we practically see of becoming immortal in the present scenario, in the confluence age? How can we children become immortal in the present time?
So in the Murli, Baba has talked about being in the consciousness of an eternal being. See, the body is perishable, but the soul is immortal. One does not become immortal. The soul is already immortal. But we've lost that consciousness. We've lost that intoxication, if you may say. But first and foremost, I think it's like we've lost that awareness or the knowledge uh, and the realization that I'm not someone who's bound by uh, limited body and body relations and circumstances. So when there is a bondage, as Baba has said in the Murli, there is a lot of suffering and peacelessness. But when you are in that consciousness of being an immortal soul, when you are in that, when you are in that realization, so then the suffering stops. And there's no longer that peacelessness because there's no longer an attachment to the body and bodily relations. So Baba has also said that when you have too many things uh, to remember or too many things that you have on your mind, then there is a conflict. But if there's only one and no other, none other, then there is no conflict. So when as a soul, uh, I it's easy for me to remember one Baba and none else. But if I'm in the body consciousness, then I remember so many things. I remember the body, I remember the relations of the body, I remember the role. So I get into a variety of things, and that will pull my consciousness. And so uh, to remain in that intoxication. And Baba said that when you have that intoxication, then you can do wonderful service. You can do double service, like how Baba has asked Dadi whether when you travel, so do you go around on a double tour? So in that consciousness, soul consciousness, immortal consciousness, in that intoxication, one becomes detached and more loving, more giving. Baba has said throughout the Murli that you are a bestower of blessings. So when I am free from limitations of body consciousness, then I can become full. And when I am full, then I can give blessings to others. It's also at that in that awareness that I can experience the full blessings of the confluence age. And I can experience the happiness of the confluence age, and the number of titles that Baba gives are to the soul. And so I can experience those. I can feel that. So I think, yeah, that's how in the confluence age to remember that I am a soul and what kind of soul I am. So Baba has given me so many titles. So as I come into that consciousness of soul, of being soul, I the two things happen. One is I become detached from the old, from the body consciousness, from the limitations. And the second is I come into an intoxication of my original and eternal qualities. And I come into the intoxication of the various titles that Baba gives us. Like the one, brother mentioned in the beginning. You, in terms of when you compare yourself to to people in the world, we may not be as knowledgeable, and many of Baba's children may not even be educated, but Baba has given us the title of knowledgeable. So it's only when we are soul conscious can we fully appreciate, fully understand, or come into the intoxication of those titles.
Yeah, so what bottom line is continuously practicing in being in soul consciousness, right?
Yeah. Yes, continuously being soul conscious while even performing our actions every day. So also if you look at the Sakar Murli yesterday, Baba constantly reminded us in the Murli that, even while eating, while doing all your daily activities, remember Baba. Don't forget, even when you're eating, it's most of the Brahmin children would remember Baba in the beginning. But as you start eating, continue eating, then you forget. So Baba said throughout, There are so many things that you eat. So throughout, you must remember. So remembrance is the key, to remember that I am an immortal soul. So when Baba is saying that you are immortal, the special blessing of the confluence age, as it was mentioned in the title, so may you be immortal. That's the key. Like the word Baba is the key. In the same way, being immortal is also the key to all special blessings of confluence age.
Thank you, Didi. So remembrance and constantly practicing the self-respect points ongoingly is one of the process to be immortal in the present time. Thank you, Didi.
What reflection I get, Raki Ben, it's like this. See, generally we ask, the soul which has not realized itself, which is not content with itself. We become royal beggars. We ask for things. Can you remove me from this obstacle? Can you remove me from this? Now, what is the need for asking for such a bestower who in this confluence age gives you everything imperishable and limitless without your asking for it? So that's what we have to, and then that's how is the reflection I get. What is the need to ask anything limited? Give me this, give me that, like I used to do in the copper age. This is the only age when he gives that all attainments. पाना तो जो पा लिया और बाकी रह गया है क्या? So I feel it's that immortality speaks about that. It's something about imperishable and imperishable attainments. And he's giving us open, equal, everyone. It's how we take it. So that's what is the reflection I got when you all were even discussing. But I just want to know one thing, Reena Ben. See, in the Murli, Baba has spoken about immortal or eternal. Aren't they two different things? Because Baba cannot give me the blessing, may you be eternal. But in that one line, Baba is saying whether it is immortal or eternal. Because eternal is something is only of the Father. I can be an immortal soul, but I cannot be an eternal soul. Can you just clarify on that? It had come in the Murli, immortal or eternal. Aren't they two absolutely different things? One is of the Supreme Soul and one is of these souls. Could you please clarify on that?
Yes, Om Shanti. See, when we talk about the qualities of the soul, in the first day's lesson, we say the soul is eternal, immortal, and imperishable, isn't it? So when we say that the soul is immortal, which means that the soul never dies, we are saying that it is eternal. And we're also saying that the soul is imperishable. It doesn't perish. The soul doesn't perish. The soul doesn't die. And it never stops existing. So I guess it's the same thing when you're saying that the soul is eternal. The only thing is that uh, the consciousness of the soul, that becomes limited. Uh, when I'm in soul conscious stage, when we are in Satyuga and Treta Yuga, we don't think of ourselves as uh, perishable souls or mortal beings because we understand that the body is the one that is perishable, the body is the one that dies. Uh, so I'm not the body. It's a innate or natural understanding. So Baba has said many times in the Murli that there is no sorrow in death in Satyuga and Treta Yuga because it's the consciousness is that we are just changing our clothes. So one doesn't feel sorrowful or one doesn't feel any pain in changing to a new clothes. In fact, there is a lot of happiness. So, yes, being immortal and being imperishable is certainly the consciousness of being a soul. And when there is, when I'm in a particular role, like when I'm in this body, my consciousness, if it is limited to this body, this name, this form, this role, so then that role is not eternal. It changes through the cycle, but in every cycle also I have the same role. So again and again, I would be playing that role, but it's not throughout the cycle. I think in that sense, it's not eternal. But the soul is always like the Father, eternal and immortal and also imperishable. Immortality and eternity is a given thing when you consider yourself as a soul.
Yeah, I think even that's what we learn when the I am eternal and all. I was just thinking that blessing which Baba gives is always may Amar Bhava, may you be immortal. I don't know. I have not come across may you be eternal. He needn't bless me because that's my original policy. Because eternal, I always related to the word permanent. But my so the soul may be permanent, but I take different bodies in the soul kalpa. But the supreme soul is absolutely eternal because he never takes any body. So I always used to take eternity with reference to the supreme soul. That's why they say reconnect yourself with the eternal world and recharge. I think one has to make a difference between that. The eternity is the eternity of the soul. It may take different bodies, but it continues on. But the supreme soul, eternal, is absolute. It doesn't take any body at any time. Only when it comes in the confluence age, it takes a chariot of a body to come with it. I think that's what I understood from what you told us now.
Yes, and also when Baba says Amar Bhava, it is generally in reference to the Brahmin life, that may you always be a Brahmin and may you not go back to the Kali, to the old sanskars, to the old way of living, and may you always continue being in this knowledge, being with Baba. So Amar Bhava is the Vardhan, Jeete Raho, in Hindi we say Jeete Raho. And Baba says, ki Jeete Raho, Mama, it is in this Brahmin life, may you always be Amar. So that I think is the meaning of that Vardhan, Amar Bhava. Otherwise, I think that the soul, because it is eternal and imperishable and immortal, Baba doesn't need to give us the blessing. Uh, it's also given that the soul will pass through so many stages in a cycle. So one goes through from Satu Pradhan to the last stage of Tamo Pradhan. From there's a transition from Tamo Pradhan to Satu Pradhan in the Sangam Yuga. And that transition is a bit, the road is a bit shaky for some, for most of us. So there is always the uh, chance of slipping back a little or stepping away. So in that journey, Baba's blessing is in that context of being Amar in this knowledge, in this life. The
Thank you,
context
sister.
is different.
So it's a blessing from the
Mhm.
supreme soul to souls, not bodies, to souls. Thank you,
Yeah,
sister.
yeah, especially to be constant, amar in knowledge. Yeah. So now let us sit in Baba's remembrance and practice. Yesterday also Baba said that, you keep some point in mind and you practice with that point. So the takeaway from the Murli of today's Murli is, practice the awareness, the consciousness of being immortal, practice the awareness of being the soul, and remain intoxicated in the various titles that Baba has given to me and the impact of these titles. So Baba has given an example today of
Let's sit in remembrance of Baba and practice the stage of being in silence. As I guess internet is also supporting to us to do the same. As Didi is logged out, looks to be there's a challenge on the net. So let's take a few moments of silence and stay in remembrance.
so let us be in that awareness that I am an immortal soul in the eyes of the Father, a very special soul. The soul who has all the blessings, all the rights, the one with the elevated fortune. And in the intoxication, that I am the light of my Father's eyes. The most elevated soul in front of the world, the Mahavir soul. I am the Pandav, the Shiv Shakti. Shanti.
Om Shanti. Thank you to Baba. Thank you, Reena Ben. Thank you, Divine Family. See you tomorrow at 5 a.m. Until then, have a lovely day.